So students, today we will see interfacing displays with 8051 microcontroller. Last time we have covered interfacing of keyboards with 8051 microcontroller. So you all know how LED works. Suppose if you want to interface this LEDs or LED displays with 8051 microcontroller, we will use port pins. How many ports are there in 8051 microcontroller? There are 4 ports in 8051 microcontroller. So suppose if we have to interface one LED with 8051 microcontroller, we have to use one port pin. Port 1 will have 8 pins, out of which for one LED we will be using only one pin. So let's say we are using here port 1.0 pin. If we connect the LED in this configuration with VCC at anode and port pin towards the cathode side of LED, then to activate, to glow this particular LED, we have to put logic 0. Then only it will be glowing. Suppose if you are connecting the LED with this configuration and if we want to glow the LED with logic 1, then we are putting inverter over here. So logic 1 will become here 0 and 0 means it is grounded. So the circuit is completed and the LED will glow. So these are any logic you can use. You can go with logic 0, you can go with logic 1. You can connect in other ways also. Suppose if you are connecting anode over here, cathode over here, then you have to change the ground part and you have to apply the logic 1 over here. Now throughout in our discussion we are seeing that we will go with this particular configuration. Now let's say we will try some small program that we want to blink this LED. Blinking the LED means putting it on for some time and putting it off for some time. And suppose if you are going with this particular configuration, let's say whichever configuration you use, the program will work. Let's say we are going with this particular configuration. Now we have to write the program to glow the LED continuously. So what will be our first statement? Let's say we are using port 1.0 pin. So because we are not using any other port pins, so we don't have to use move instruction. What we'll do, we have the bitwise instructions complement. So CPL P1.0, that means it will complement the bit 1.0. So whatever may be the previous status, anyways we have to glow the LED continuously. So either it is first off or it is first on, it doesn't make any difference. So whatever may be the previous status of 1.0, let's say the previous status is 0, logic 0. So if it is logic 0, then according to this configuration, this hardware interpretation, LED will glow. For how much time it will glow? It will glow for certain delay. Then what we are doing? We are again going to jumping to this particular instruction. What this instruction is doing? This instruction is again complementing the bit 1.0. So previously it was logic 0. Now it will become logic 1. So logic 1 means the LED will be put off. For how much time it will be put off? It will be put off for this much delay. Again we are going jumping to the blink routine. So again it is complementing, so logic 1 will become logic 0. So continuous on and off will go on with this, only with this one instruction. One instruction is provided for delay. So one instruction is sufficient for one LED to continuously blink on and off. If you want to blink for on time separately and other off time differently, then you can use delay 1 for off and delay 2 for on. So this is how we can blink the LED with 8051 microcontroller. Now suppose we are talking only about the interfacing one LED. Let's say if we have keys, if you have been provided 2 keys, key 1 and key 2, and you are asked that if key 1 is pressed, then LED should be on. The LED is connected at port pin 3.7, and if key 2 key is pressed, then LED should be put off. So now this is, you are interfacing LED, you are making on and off LED, but with the help of key 1 and key 2, whatever may be the status of key 1 and key 2. Accordingly, you will put the LED on and off. So let's say with this configuration, we have connected key 1 at port 3.0 and key 2 at, that is key number 2 at port pin 3.1. They are connected with pull up and here it is grounded. So if the key is open, logic 1 will be over here, and if the key is closed, then logic 0 will be available at the port pins. Keys are input devices, so these are input pins for us, port 3.0 and port 3.1, these are two input pins. Similarly at the other side, because LED is output device, we have to glow the LED, it is output pin. And how we have configured it? We have connected VCC at anode and cathode is connected to port 3.7 pin. So if logic 0 is available at this port pin, then LED will glow. If logic 1 is available, then LED will not glow. So to glow the LED, it should be logic 0, and to put the off LED, it should be logic 1. If K1 is pressed, 0 will be available at this port pin. If K2 is pressed, 0 will be available at this port pin. If K1 is pressed, then you have to put LED on, and if K2 is pressed, you have to put LED off. So this is what is required in our program. So how we will start? We will start with this instruction. What we are doing? We are ORing port 3 with 83 hex. Now why we have taken 83 hex? Because for input also and for output also we have used same port 3.0. So if we talk about port 3.0 pins, let's say suppose if this is so for this is output pin, so it has to be 0, and for this, because it is input pin, so to define the port pin as input, we have to put logic 1 initially. So this will be 1 1, then 0 0 over here, and then subsequently 0 0 0. Now we have taken here 83. The reason of taking 83 means we are taking over here initially 1. Initially 1 means LED is put off. So 83. This comes to be 80. This comes out to be 83. So that's why we have taken. We are ORing port 3 with 83. ORing port 3 with 83 means whatever may be the other status, if you have used in some other program, other port pins, so those status will not be changed in this with this particular program. So this particular status of port is not going to change with ORing. What ORing is doing, if you are ORing with 0, then the original status is not changing. But if you are ORing with 1, whatever may be the previous status, it comes to 1. This is what ORing does. When we OR the bit with 1, the result comes to be 1. So with this instruction, what we are doing, we are trying to make port 3.0 and port 3.1 as input pins, making them compulsorily 1 1, and we are not changing the status of port 3.7. Let it be whatever may be the previous status. So ORing with 1 will not change the status of port 3.7, whatever is its original status. Now we are taking that into accumulator. When we are taking it into accumulator, on port it will be available, but subsequently it is available in accumulator also. Now what we are doing, we are trying to do RRC, that is rotate right with carry. So what RRC does, rotate right. Rotate right means this particular, you are rotating it towards right, and the most significant bit will go to accumulator. So what you are doing, where is your key K1 is arranged, your K1 is arranged at port 3.0. So making RRC, what RRC will do, RRC will rotate this right, so this status will go into carry. So if we carry flag, so if we want to check whether what is the status of port 3.0, with one RRC you can check the status of carry bit, and by checking the status of carry bit you will come to know whether it is 1 or not. So you can use some other instructions also. You can check, you can get the contents in P3 in accumulator, you can compare with one or something, you can do that, but that will take more instructions and it will occupy more memory. So when we are available with one instruction RRC, why not to use this particular instruction? So by this what we are doing, we are moving the status of port 3.0, that means status of key 1 into carry. As we have already discussed, if the key is open, it will be 1. If the key is closed, it will be 0. So jump if carry, that means carry bit is 1 means port 3.0 is 1. So when port 3.0 will be 1, when key is open. That means if key is open, this indicates that K1 is not pressed. So if K1 is not pressed, where are you moving? You are moving to next one location. Where is the next one location? Next one location is available here. This is your next one location. So what next one location is doing? It is again rotating accumulator right once. So again rotating accumulator right once, what it will do? It will move this particular 3.1 bit to accumulator, to carry. Because it would have been shifted to this place, and from this place it would go to carry bit. That means when you are satisfied that K1 is not pressed, you are going for checking whether K2 is pressed or not with this instruction. And again, if carry is fed, that means K2 is also not pressed. So if it is also not pressed, you are again going to read key. That means you are again reading both the keys. Still you will go to this particular routine unless until you find either of these keys pressed. But suppose if your K1 is if your K1 is found to be pressed, so if found to be pressed, that means what is the job after K1 pressed? It is you have to put on LED. So what we are doing? We are clearing port 3.7. Clearing port 3.7 bit means this is bitwise instruction. It is not affecting any other port pins of port 3. It is only affecting port 3.7 pin. And what is there at port 3.7 pin? LED is connected at port 3.7 pin. And clearing the bit means making it to 0. And making it to 0 means you are glowing LED. So if you are finding K1 pressed, you are glowing the LED. And again jumping to reading the key status. If you again find K1 pressed, you will again glow the LED. If you don't find K1 pressed, you will check for K2. Now suppose if you find K2 pressed, then what will you do? If K2 is pressed, then you have to put LED off. So here we were clearing the bit to put the LED on, and here we are setting the bit to 1. Again, because we are not using other port pins, so we are only using one port pin, that is 3.7. So by set B instruction we will make it to 1, and by clear instruction we will make it to 0. So here we are using, for if we find K2 detected pressed, then we are setting the bit to 1. Setting the bit to 1 will put the LED off, and again we are jumping to read key status. So students, that is when we are controlling only one LED with 2 keys. But there can be number of LEDs, there can be matrix of keyboards, there can be 7-segment displays, as we see on railway platforms, etc. We use 7-segment displays. So how to control those 7-segment displays with 8051 microcontroller?
Okay.
So students, we were talking about interfacing 7-segment displays. Now how 7-segment displays looks like? It looks like this way. So each segment is one LED. That means this segment is one LED, this segment is one LED. Likewise, how many segments are there? There are total 7 segments and one is decimal point. So total 8 LEDs are there in 7-segment display. Now suppose if you want to glow 1. If you want to glow 1 means only this segment has to be glowed and this segment has to be glowed. So which is this segment? This segment is B, and which is this segment? This segment is C. So for 1, only B and C segment should be glown. Rest all segments should not be glown. So there are two types of configurations, common anode and common cathode. Now when we have seen last time one LED interfacing. So LED is provided with VCC and you are putting logic 0 at cathode to glow this particular LED. But in one 7 segment display there are 8 LEDs. So 8 LEDs means the configuration is like this. This is one LED, this is another LED, and this is, let's say this is A, B, likewise you have till H. So 8 LEDs are connected accordingly. Now suppose if they are connected in this fashion, so that means anode of all the LEDs are connected to VCC. So if you provide VCC to this pin, all 8 segments are getting plus 5 volt. Now suppose if you use common cathode configuration, then in this case what you are doing, you are providing this is one segment, likewise you have 8 segments. So you are providing ground to this particular common cathode. So if I want to glow this particular LED, unless until I put ground at this pin, this will not be glown. So even if VCC is available on all the anodes, only the LED will glow which is having ground at cathode. Ground means logic 0 at cathode. So with common anode configuration, this is common anode configuration. With common anode configuration, to glow the particular segment you have to put 0. And with common cathode configuration, to glow the LED you have to put 1. If you are putting 1 over here, this LED will glow. This LED is having, cathode is grounded, but because it is not having logic 1 or plus 5 volt supply at anode, this will not glow. So whichever configuration you are using, whether you are using in common anode or in common cathode configuration, while interfacing displays you have to make sure that which configuration you are using, and accordingly you will define the pattern. Because suppose if I want to glow 1 with this on this 7 segment display, 1 means I want to glow B and C segments. If I am at common anode configuration, so to glow the LED it should be 0 0. So B and C will have 0 0. Rest all segments will have 1. So what is the pattern for this? This is F, and what is this? F9. F9 stands for 1 decimal. This is with common anode configuration. But if it is common cathode configuration, then to glow the LED it should be 1. So 1 over here 0 at rest of the segments. So this will become 0, and this is how much it is? This is 4 plus 2, that is 6. So if you put 0 6, it is logic 1. So your pattern for logic 1, your word byte for logic 1 will be different when you are using with common anode configuration. It will be different when you are using with common cathode configuration. So what you have to do, you have to first decide whether you are using in common anode mode or in common cathode mode, and once it is decided which mode you are using, you have to set, you know that your digit will vary from 0 to 9. So you have to make patterns, that will be called as lookup table. So what will be pattern for digit 0? What will be the byte for 1? Let's say for 1, if I am using common cathode, then it will be 0 6. So if I am using common cathode, I have to define all the bytes for 2, likewise till 9. So this will form my lookup table, and whichever digit I want to glow, that I have to call from this particular table. If I want to glow 1, then I will be calling from this particular lookup table 6, from this particular memory location. So what is available as this memory location? It is 0 6. So 1 means I am not putting 1 to glow this particular display. 1 means I am putting 0 6 hex to glow this particular LED. So in next class we will see how multiple 7 segments are connected to one port. Suppose if you want to go with real time clock. Now real time clock means you will be having 4 displays, 1 2 for hours and 2 for minutes. So if I connect this, these are 8 segments. So 8 segments means if I am using port 1, then all 8 pins of port 1 will be used for one 7 segment display. Suppose if I want to go with real time clock, then for hours it will be taking 2 displays, for minutes it will be taking 2 displays, so there will be 4 displays. And for 4 displays, if you go with 4 ports, different ports, then it will be the non-effective use of hardware of 8051, because 8051 is having only 4 ports. So what we have to do in such case, we have to do the connecting of all segments, like all A's of 4 segments will be connected, all B's of 4 these segments will be connected, all C's of these segments will be connected together. That means they are shorted. A is connected to A of this, A is connected to A of this, A is connected to A of this. All B's are connected together, all C's are connected together. Likewise, all segments are tied up together. Now, suppose if you want to display 2 at this, if you want to display 23, then because you have connected A and A together, whatever you will display on this, the same will be available on this. So now what is our job? If my display is common anode type, then I have to put the common anode, whatever may be the common anode, only to this particular display. Common anode type configuration we are talking about. So I have to apply 5 volt to this common anode of only this display, and your pattern is 2. So 2 pattern will be available on this also, and it will be available on this also. But here it will not glow. Why it will not glow? Because this common anode is not getting plus pi supply. Where it is available, the plus pi supply is available only to the first display. So whether the pattern is available on this particular display, this is not going to glow, because it is not getting common anode supply. Because this is getting common anode supply, so 2 will be glowing on this particular pattern. Now next time what will you do? You will put 3 on both the displays. So 3 will be, the pattern of 3 will be available on this, and the pattern of 3 will be available on this. But now this time you will not supply here plus 5 volt, you will not supply here, you will supply plus 5 volt. Why? Because 3 you want to glow on this particular display. So even if pattern is available on this display, it will not glow because it is not getting common anode. Here it will glow because it is getting common anode supply plus 5 volt. So likewise, suppose if I am having 4 displays, I will put the same number on 4 displays, but though the display which I want to glow, that will be given plus 5 supply if I am working in common anode mode. And because I am moving this, scanning this fast, like after this I will be going to putting on next digit and moving plus 5 volt to this, then I am putting the pattern of third digit and moving plus 5 to this, and this scanning is done so fast that whether even if I am removing plus 5 from this particular display, because of vision of persistence, it will stay on this particular, it will stay on our vision, because we are moving it, scanning is very fast. So though you are removing the supply, we think that the display is available on this, so it will be available 3. Next time I will move supply to this, so 3 will be available over here, and then whatever may be the digits over here, 45 let's say. So 2 pattern, 3 pattern, 4 pattern, 5 pattern, I am continuously putting on these displays. They are available on all the displays, but only the display which is getting plus 5 volt will glow, and because this is happening so fast that you couldn't make out that at a time only one display is glowing, you will think that it is displaying 2, 3, 4, 5. So how to write program for such real-time clock like displaying hours and minutes with like the example of interfacing 4 7-segment displays with 8051 microcontroller we will see in next class. Stay safe, stay connected with my YouTube videos for this session, and good luck to your exams.